Alright, I'm back. So, I'm out of shape, baby. For real. But anyways, so that was the last I saw of Benny. Okay? And so, I went to my sister's house. 3 weeks later, he's at the house next door where he's living with his girlfriend and their kid. And her mom and her boyfriend, they was extremely dysfunctional. You know, I felt sorry for him and every one of them, because they was all on drugs. And I mean, serious drama in that freaking home. Bad. So, anyways, I saw him. I waved at him, man. He said, "Hey, what's up?" I went and talked to my sisters, hung out, visited, left, you know, and I came back like a week later. But this time when I came back, there was Benny outside in the road, you know, in the front yard. I mean, on the road right in front of my sister's house. And he was walking back and forth on the road. He was flailing his hands, and he was going off on people, and he was screaming this and screaming that and yelling and cussing like a freaking psycho. And you know, and he probably weighed maybe 100 pounds. I mean, he was a bony, tall drug addict, really. You know, and I felt sorry for him, and I was praying for him. So I was like, "Benny, what are you doing, man?" And they had a crowd around him. He's like, "Man, they're accusing me of breaking in people's homes, and they're trying to say that I stole stuff out of their home when they were going to work and all this stuff. Man, I ain't did that." I said, "Okay." I said, "I don't know what to tell you, Benny." I said, "Man, I told you need to give that crap up, dude." I said, "I told you you're going to get in more trouble." I said, "Dude, please." I said, "Just go to church, man." I said, "You can come with me right now, and we'll go find a preacher or something when you can talk to him." "No, it ain't that bad, man. It ain't that bad." So I said, "Okay," or something like that. And anyways, whenever we got finished talking, he was ranting, and I was walking into my sister's yard, and I closed the gate, and a car drove by with two just normal middle class looking people. And he's in the road yelling at the people in the car, flailing his hands. And I said, "Man, that dude is out of control." So anyways, I talked to my sister, and I stayed at her house maybe 30 minutes, and I left. And when I was walking out, guess what? Two sheriff cars right there with about 3 or 4 sheriff deputies. And guess what they were doing to Benny? They were stuffing him in the back of the car. And he was going to jail, and he violated his probation. He caught some charges. You know, he denied he broke in their homes and stole to support his drug habit, but that's exactly what he did. So, exactly what I told him. I told him he thought he had all his time, but right here, that's all he had. He needed to get right then and there, and he blew it off. And Benny's probably in prison right now. You see what I'm saying? And it's because he didn't believe. He blew it off. He couldn't make the decision to get his life straight, and it cost him. But that's not the end of the story. There's a bright side to all of this, and this is how blind I was. This is how blind I was, and I was a messenger. But the Lord was in complete control of that whole situation, and it was ordained of God. Uh, about a year after that, I was in Moss Bluff, And I was in the market basket there, in the grocery store. And I was grocery shopping for getting a few groceries. And there was a guy there. He was waiting in the checkout line. And he said, "Hey, bro, what's going on?" He shook my hand. He said, "Man, you remember me?" I said, "No, I don't remember you, man. I thought I knew him from I witnessed to so many people when I was in there. I mean, in Moss Bluff, but." He said, "Man, you don't remember me?" He said, "I got to give you a hug, man." And he gave me a hug. He said, "I was the dude that was with Benny. Remember when me and Benny were doing the drugs and we were selling the drugs? And you were telling Benny that he needed to get his life straight, and you were telling me the same thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I remember you now, dude." He said, "Guess what, man?" He said, "I remembered and I listened to everything you said." He said, "And when Benny got arrested and went to jail," he said, "I got scared." He said, "I threw all my dope away." And he said that I thought about it and I stayed clean from drugs. He said, and now, I can't remember the time frame, but I know it was about a year. I wish I could remember, but what he told me when I was in Market Basket, to the best of my recollection, was about a year later. It could have been sooner. He said he quit doing drugs. He said he told his dad that he was doing drugs. And he said he went to church and he was going to church. And he said he was about to go into a drug rehabilitation program. And he gave his life to God. And he wanted to get saved. And it was because of me witnessing to those two dudes. And my whole focus was on Benny, because I thought that was a guy the Lord wanted me to witness to. But guess what? It was the other one. And I didn't even know it until I met him sometime later in Market Basket. Couldn't even remember who he was. He gave me a hug and said I was the one who got through to him to where he threw his drugs away, started going to church, told his dad he was doing drugs. His dad didn't even know he was on drugs. And he went to a drug rehab. And that was the last I saw of him. And it was because of what I said to him. So that's the bright side. And I guess my point is, I mean, he may be saved, man. He may be doing fantastic. And I haven't seen him again. But that was ordained of the Lord. I had a word for somebody that came true. And he went to prison again. Exactly like I said. And the other guy that I didn't even remember actually received what the word of the Lord was saying through me, and it changed his life. So anyways, it's powerful, man. And you know, some people don't like the word that I have for them. They reject it because they don't want to hear it, and it wind up costing them. And some people receive it, man, and it changed their life. And I do it because I love them, and I've been there where they at. And if they on the street, that's the kind of people I want to be around. Freaking gang-banging criminals. You know, prostitutes, pimps, drug-dealing, freaking violent people. I love them, and I want to save them. That's all I have. And that's my story of Benny and his buddy. Y'all bless one. Peace.